everybody. Happy 4th of July. One of my favorite holidays. And we have Charlie today. He's going to be my little co-host. Charlie, say hello. Say hello. Say hello to the people. Hello. Yeah. Charlie was very sick this week. He had a tick bite on his eye. And I treated it with some antibiotic eye medicine because it was a little swollen and a little red. And I was really worried. And as some of you may remember, Charlie is really partially blind, although I have treated him with cannabis sativa, which is a homeopathic remedy also. Okay, settle down, honey. And it seems like he has regained some of his vision because I think he has severe glaucoma. So it has helped some. It seems like but after the tick bite, his eye really rolled back almost, and I was very worried that he would lose, the power of the muscle there. Apparently, the muscle was affected. Well, I gave him immediately a dose of Ledum palostrade, which whenever you do have a tick bite or your animal has a tick bite, always have some Ledum available. And today I gave it to him yesterday, and today look at how lively he is. And he seems like he is very, very alert today. His eyes look good. His eye does not roll back anymore. It is all normal. Um, yeah, homeopathy to the rescue again. Fabulous. I just love this stuff. I just think it's just such a fabulous thing that we have homeopathy and herbal remedies to help ourselves. We are not totally just at the mercy of chemicals. It's just every time that it works, even though I've been doing this for so many years, every time that it works, I'm saying, whoa, what a fabulous thing. How lucky am I? How lucky are you to listen to me and to learn and to see and to also experience? Please do everything that I do tell you. You can do. I do not tell you anything that you cannot do. If you have questions, please ask them. I'd be glad to. Normally, I charge for this. My Sunday listeners can get their questions answered for free. How good is that? Right? And we do want to thank our producer, Amnon. Amnon, thank you again for making this possible.
Oh, thank you.
And please tell the listeners of how they can ask questions.
They can call us at 919-518-9773. Or if they're using Skype, Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And please go ahead and log into the chat so you can also type in and carry a conversation that way.
Right. And it's totally free. We don't track you. We don't send emails out to you. We are totally, this is something that is, I always get that question asked when I tell people about that I do this show. They say, well, what? This is totally free. They're always amazed. It is free. We don't track you. We don't send you emails afterwards. If I offer something on this show, you can safely say, yes, I want it. I'm here to really, it's one of the few places that you can get something for free. and that is good for you, right? So, much, much more to the, uh, I don't know if the word chagrin is the right word, but the latest thing, again on the Trump scene, which is, in my opinion, really not only borderlines, it is totally ridiculous. And the man is totally false. But the Washington Post just published. Now, listen to this, guys. The, Trump has been, I mean, even though I detest the man, I do listen to him because I keep thinking there must be something redeeming about him. And he is always chattering about how he gives millions to all kinds of charities and so on. Well, the Washington Post did their homework. They researched this. And they said, well, even though we still have not seen any tax returns from Trump, so we really don't know for sure how much he gives. But they researched it for what they could research. In 7 years, he has given $10,000 to charities. Did you hear that? In 7 years, 10,000. I don't know where he comes up with the millions. I mean, millions? $10,000 in 7 years? That's not even borderline millions. That's not even 1 million. So, in whoever, I don't want to sway you, I don't want to say anything. I just wanted you to know. Another thing of Chris Christie in New Jersey, which is in the same ballpark there. There was just a case right now, a mother whose son was murdered a year ago. He had student loans, and she asked the state for the student loans to be forgiven since the son is dead, right? And the state wrote her back and said, even though we are very sorry that your son died, but your son's death does not fall into the category of where we forgive student loans. Nice, huh? Nice.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the law, I can't argue,
Yeah, well, see, the law has changed drastically because now New Jersey student loans, and all you guys who listen from New Jersey, please pay attention to that, because they are all hinged on Wall Street now. They were not before. They are also higher in interest than federal loans. And in 2010, they were, okay, I think he's had enough of the co-hosting. Dogs just don't have the patience that they should have, right? And in 2010, there were fewer than 100 outstanding loans that were prosecuted. Make a wild guess, Amnon, how many there were last year after it was hinged onto Wall Street?
I don't know.
1,600. From 2010 to 2015. 2010, there were fewer than 100 loans prosecuted for non-payment. Now there are over 1,600. I'm just saying, our beautiful country is going to hell in a handbasket.
Well, I mean, you can argue this though. What kind of signal is this going to send a student who took student loans, which where's the money come from? It's come from people's investments, from me and you.
Yeah.
And then at the end, they find a way how to get away with it. Then it sets their whole life in a way, I can do this
You are
again, and I
so
can do
right.
this, and I can do that.
I, I agree with you totally. That's why I
Yeah,
think there should student loans shouldn't be. You shouldn't have to have student loans. You shouldn't have to have. If you wanted to go to school, you it should be just depending on your grades. You have good enough grades to go on to school, then go on to school. You
right.
do not have good enough grades, you can't go on to school. You learn a trade.
Yep,
You learn a trade.
yep.
There's honor in a trade.
Absolutely. And you make more money many times in a
Absolutely.
trade.
Yeah, and you don't ruin your whole life by having hundreds of thousands of dollars
Right.
that some people have for student loans. I mean, it's all back ass, it's all ridiculous. It's all out of proportion. It's all not working. And however, here's an interesting thing. There's a new television show on AMC, I believe, and it's called How the West Was Won or something like that. It's not the old How the West Was Won, but it's a new series, and it shows of how like about the true story about Jesse James and this true story about I don't know, Custer and all of that. Well, they had last night, even though I haven't been following it, but they had last night, they had something that caught my eye while I was flicking through the channels, and it said Hayes and Titler. Now, when General Hayes became president, when was that? Was 1873, I believe. And he and Titler were going neck on neck, very much like Hillary and Trump right now. The country was very divided. But then what was really interesting was they showed the number of people that voted. On the one hand, there were 197. On the other hand, there were 202. Why? Not because we only had 197 or maybe 400 or 500 people in the country, but because most people couldn't vote. You could only vote in those days if you had land, you were white, you were born in the country, and you were over 21, and you were male. Otherwise, you couldn't vote. And even if you could vote, many of the farmers who owned lands, they were so they couldn't read, they couldn't write, even though they fell into that category. But they really didn't know, they really didn't understand, so they didn't even vote, they didn't even bother. So here were these two people, and Hitler wanted to have the reconstruction of America, which also included the freeing of the slaves, which Lincoln had done. And he wanted to preserve that in the South. Yet Hayes was hinged totally to Wall Street, was well, at that time there was no Wall Street, but it was totally hinged to the banks, totally conservative. He did not want to have, he wanted the slave fiefdom to be in existence. He wanted that to stay. And so when they could not decide who was going to be president because they were so close, they could not make a choice. They had 15 people of the government sit in a room and hammer out a deal. And the deal was that Hitler, who wanted the slaves to stay free as Lincoln had said, but he got he got concessions towards that, and he gave, so they exchanged with each other and negotiated what each wanted, and then Hayes became president. Now, from 1873 to now, in my opinion, not much has changed. When are we going to learn? If we have two parties, there will always be this wrangling of oh, me, 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 me. It will not change. We need a third party. People, wake up. We need a third party. The third party that will be the pendulum that will give the the stronger one the power to rule. So that was my 5 minutes of political rant, as always, or as sometimes. So if you have any opinions about it, love to hear it. Love to hear it. Because I really think that this is so borderline idiotic that it's not even funny. Anyway, getting to to our pets. 4th of July, tomorrow, Big Bang Day, as I call it. Let me tell you, when I came first to this area here, my husband and I, as you know, love camping. And we came up here. We wanted to buy a house here, but I said, you know what? Before we buy a house here, why don't we go up there and spend a couple of weekends and see if we really like the area? I mean, who knows, right? Just because we want to buy a house and the area is nice, but maybe if you really are there for a couple of weekends and you get to know the people in the area and you get talk to the people and so on, you can make a much better decision. So we camped on the campground here, right down by the Delaware. And we got there on Friday evening. Friday evening, it started. The banging. Saturday, Sunday, or at least, it wasn't the fall. I think it fell on a Monday that weekend too, that we were there. And because I remember we were there on a weekend. And it was like being in a war zone. I couldn't stand it. I could not stand it. Thank God that has changed somewhat. There have been ordinance now that you cannot shoot fireworks off before the 4th, and because there have been too many accidents, and besides, it is terrible. My animals, they cringe every time they hear a firecracker. They have these huge bombs go off. And please, people, do not take your dogs to a firework display, and even your little babies. Anybody under 5 years old should not go to a fireworks display because it's way too loud for their ears, and it is frightening. It is absolutely frightening. They don't really understand it yet. So please be careful with especially your animals. I mean, if you take your kids, I mean, fine. My children, I think my son was about 4 when he saw his first fireworks, and he called them fireworks. He couldn't say fireworks. So, but I mean, it's way too young as babies. These tiny babies. Sometimes I saw tiny babies at the fireworks. Now, if the fireworks are far away, it's it's okay. Like for instance, like in New York City, where the fireworks are over the river, and you sit on a lawn far away, a couple miles away, and you see it in the sky. That I'm sure is okay. But even for animals, that is not okay. That is not okay. Um, and even the sparklers. I have seen dogs' paws being burned, and here it's how it happened. Not that the people did not pay attention, but these sparklers, you wave it and then they burn down, and most people just drop them. Well, if a dog walks right over it, it's a severe burn because those things are metal and hot, 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 and you can have a deep burn from that. Also, when these sparkler, these little things flake off and flake onto the ground or onto an animal or onto your hand, it can cause a severe burn. So be careful even with those. And of course, don't leave your dog in the car and take your dog and then leave them in the car in the heat. Even in the evening, if you're in an area, right now, the Midwest is so hot. If you're in that area, and even in the evening, it doesn't cool down. So you have your dog in the car, you're going to the movies, or you're going to a firework display, or you're going to go and have something to eat, and you leave it open, leave the window open this much. Well, your dog is going to really suffer. Please don't. What's wrong with leaving them at home? Our animals stay at home whenever we feel that we want to be going somewhere and we want them safe. And here's another thing. When it's so hot, like in Phoenix right now, was what, 115, 120? You can fry an egg on the sidewalk. Are you going to take your dog for a walk? Uh-uh. If you feel that the sidewalks are so hot, the paws of your dog will be scorched. So please do not. Please do not. And that's just really a warning of, I know all of you are not doing it because you listen to this show, you're animal lovers, you want to take care of your pets, and you're not doing. And you're saying, oh, what's she talking about? I don't do that. Yeah, but you know what? Tell your friends too. Tell your friends and tell them not to do that. And stop, when you see it, stop people, talk to them nicely, and say, excuse me, do you know these sidewalks are really hot. Is it necessary that you have to walk your dog now on the sidewalk? Is there another place, maybe in the grass or on the dirt, where you could walk your dog? Um, if you see a dog in the car, make sure that you find the owner and make give them the alert of that this is not okay. Now the beach is the same thing. We're all summertime, right? Oh, we're all out to the beach. Well, I'm not a beach person, so I am not really, I love going walking on the beach, but I'm not really, I can't sit on the beach and for hours. But I do see people with their pets, with their tiny babies in the noon sun on the beach. Are they thinking? Uh-uh. No. Very bad. Very bad. Between sunburns and dehydration and dogs, when they see the glare from the water and the beach sand, they can have eye damage. Please don't. Okay. They in Europe, they made something really fabulous. I just saw on the net, and go look on the net. It is a tent. In fact, I saw it, I think, on Indiegogo. They're looking for funding, and it is sort of like a canopy like this, and you lie under it, and it filters the UVA and UVB rays that are the burning rays, and you still are under that, and you have, it's like a beach umbrella, but it is like a canopy that opens up like this, and you can play under. Now if you, or at least a beach umbrella, if you have something like that, it will be okay. But again, eye damage to dogs from the glare of the beach sand and the water can be. Okay, so be aware of that, and always bring a lot of water, much more water, not just a couple of bottles of water, and not cold water for your animals or your little babies. Tempered water. I have seen some people drinking almost ice water. Not a good idea when you're very, very heated. It can do damage to you, to your system. Just think about it. You have a, just picture this. You have a cup. It's very hot. That's your body, your cup. You pour ice water into that cup. What happens?
It
Bing!
cracks.
Cracks. That sort of way, your body doesn't crack, but that kind of shock is the same thing when you drink ice water. So in the summertime, please do not drink ice water when you're cold. Besides, it doesn't quench the thirst as well as tepid water, not hot water, but tepid water. Okay? Tepid water quenches the thirst much, much better and is much healthier for you. So those are definitely things to consider when you're on the beach. I mean, I love going to the beach, and we are looking forward to go to Asateek soon. We just came back from Ontario, Lake Ontario. We were there last week. My husband's birthday was, and I remember telling you about it. And you know, it's just really a nice getaway to be on the beach, and it is very, very healthy also. But lots of sunscreen, and ladies, wear a hat and possibly gloves. You see my hands? I don't have any brown spots. I don't have any old lady hands. And I don't know. I'm way older than what you think I am.
Really?
Really. And I really think that the only reason why I don't look it is because I've always been aware. I had a very wise mother. My mother told me, you wear a hat in the summer and you wear gloves. In those days, we didn't have that good of a sunscreen that we have today. But whenever I put sunscreen on my face, which I wear every day, by the way, summer and winter, but I always put right away some on the back of my hands. Because even though I would never do a facelift, but I could possibly lift my face, but you can't lift your hands. And you've seen so many actors that have these flawless skins in their face, but their hands look like old lady hands or old men hands. Not good. So you can prevent that when you're younger. When you're already in their 50s and 60s, much of the damage has been done. Do this when you're younger. But you know, even though if you're in 50, just because there's some damage done, that doesn't mean you have to increase the damage. Now, dark spots on the skin are usually the results from toxins within your body, because the melanin that colors your skin, that gives our skin the nice tan, starts clumping if there are too many toxins in the skin. And that's what gives us those brown spots, those old age spots, liver spots, or whatever you want to call it. They call them probably liver spots because they soon understood that it was from toxins. And as you know, our liver filters the toxins. And if our liver doesn't filter all the toxins, then it starts to clump in the melanin of our skin. So try to eat healthy. Try to eat as many vegetables as you can and as many fruits as you can. And always peel your fruits, because today with all those pesticides, and even if you use a wash, I peel most everything, you know. And I try to buy fruits that are not treated. You can tell when they are treated. They have that waxy, super gloss. I mean, you see it on apples all the time. I mean, apples today you can keep for a year on your counter. I mean, they never rot because they are so well preserved with all the stuff that they sprayed on it. It's ridiculous. But you know, if you buy now summer, buy local, buy organic, buy natural fruits. If you live in a city, try to go to a farmer's market. Um, your pets, just because you're vegetarian doesn't mean that your pet can be a vegetarian or should be a vegetarian, because their makeup is not made. Cats and dogs need protein. So, and beans is not a protein for animals. That may be a protein for us, but it's not a protein for animals. Yeah. Any questions about all my rant here?
Nope.
Nobody wants to talk to me, but that's all right. It's okay. It's
Their
okay.
loss.
Their loss. You are so right. Oh, by the way, I had talked to you last week about the remedy. Okay. I have extended the the you can have the remedy if we've made now 4 remedies. One is for energy and just energy and memory and good feeling. Okay. It's Formula One. Formula Two is if you have a problem sleeping and staying asleep. Formula Three is to balance your glucose. And all of these remedies are made totally natural with alkalized water and herbs and homeopathy. Now, there's a difference, right? Herbal and homeopathy. We'll get into that next week again for those of you who are new listening, but they are both very different, okay? But they're both in these remedies, and we had such great response. I'm going to extend it and just charge $15. That's the cost for mailing and for the bottle, but the remedy is free. So if you guys would like to have one of these, oh, and the fourth one is for anxiety. If you really have a lot of anxiety and a lot of angst, a lot of like, oh my God, what is going to happen? I can't think, I can't, everything is really in a muddle and so on. If you feel that way, then you would select the remedy number 4. But if you send me an email and tell me what your symptom is, what you would like to, if it is one of the 4 remedies, I will send you back an email saying which one you're getting, and you just send me $15 by PayPal, and I will send it to you, toot sweet, out to the address that you provide. Okay, so let me give you the email address where you can contact me. It's homeopath, the number 4, me, at live, live.com. Again, homeopath, number 4, me, at live.com. So even if you forget that you didn't have a pen there or whatever, just tune in next week and talk to me and tell me, and I can advise you right then and there. These remedies are totally natural. There's no chemicals. They is in each remedy, there is a drop of CBD oil, because CBD oil is something that all of our bodies need. Uh, we have cannabinoid uh, receptors in our body that are totally being depleted because of the laws. But CBD oil is legal in all 50 states. So there's nothing illegal about any of this. Okay. So you can safely say, you know, order this and contact me about it. And if you would like to have one bottle without it, we just leave it out. That's fine too, because we hand make all of these. Everything in that bottle and the outside of the bottle is made in the USA, handcrafted here, right here in my little clinic. And we really make each bar, we make them right there in small batches, and people are very, very happy with it.
I thought
There
that
is
I thought that the bottle has all four, that they were mixed.
no, we had that in the beginning.
Yeah.
And what happened was that some people said, well, I don't need that. I don't need this. So we said, well, why don't we then separate it? You just tell us what your main symptom is, what you would like to have. Now, if you would like one with all four of those ingredients, we can also make that. However, and there's no extra charge for it at this point. When we make a couple of hundred of these, then we may do it differently. But right now, it really is that you can specify it. If you would like that, I can still make that. But we found better results if it is separated.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'll just have to ask Kathy which one she wanted, because I
Right.
told her, no, you don't get one, because Gisela
Yeah.
is sending me one that has.
Right, absolutely.
So I'll
If
ask her.
If you're diabetic, let's say somebody is diabetic
Me.
and wants the diabetic one, but also has memory problems.
Yeah.
Okay.
Me.
You. Okay. All right. So what I can do is I can mix the two
Yeah.
and give it to you, send it to you with that. We can
I-
definitely do that.
I
There's
just
no
wanted
problem.
to add that people that don't remember or did not write the email, your email in, if they go on the page, at the top it says, My Life, My Will, with host Gisela DeCarlo. If they click on your name, they get that email address. It'll start their email program and send an email. So they
Terrific.
don't even need to know it. All they have to do is just click on your name.
Terrific.
Yep.
God, you're the best. You're the best, Amnon.
Mhm.
You really are. You are so great. Well, guys, I'm going to have a little party today because tomorrow it's going to rain here, and I don't want to have a bonfire in the rain. So, so we decided to have it on Sunday. We have a few friends in. I hope you all are having a great 4th of July. I hope you're having some friends with you. I hope you have some family. I hope you have some good times. I mean, to me, 4th of July, summer starts and living is easy. Okay.
Good.
And I see you all next Sunday. I wish you a glorious week. Amnon, have
Same
a
to you.
fabulous holiday tomorrow.
Yep. Same
And-
to you.
I can't wait till next Sunday. Tell you more. Bye.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. Our weekly lineup of call-in programs includes Computers 2K Now with Amnon Nissan, My Life, My Will with Gisela DiCarlo, The Tanya Love Show, Health Then with Debbie Bruck, Breaking Free with Marilyn Shannon, Triangle Be Well with Howard Jacobson, Lunch and Learn with Rabbi Yisrael Cutler, Lessons of Vietnam with NCVVI members, Current Affairs with Amnon Nissan. And if you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section on nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by Atomos.com, makers of quality video recorders and converters, CarolinaApparel.com, and DeltaForce.net.